Okay, hello. I'm Anna, I'm not Anne Lambert, but just a slight, it happens a lot. I'm the communications manager at Halton Housing Trust. I suppose I'd start by saying Halton, we're only quite small really. We've got 6,000 properties, and most of you probably don't even know where Halton is. It's Runcorn and Widnes in Cheshire, so that's us. And I think we sort of started off on our social media journey probably about 2 years ago, but I sort of took it on about 18 months ago because that's when I joined the trust. So things were already set up and in place, but I think for me, and I've done a few talks like this, and I come across a lot of people who are fighting their boards and their management to be able to get things approved. And I suppose for me, my role at the trust, Nick Atkin makes it quite easy for me to do that. And I suppose the culture at our organisation is quite open and we are quite transparent, and I suppose that's led by Nick, and that follows right down to it. So Twitter was already in existence, as was Facebook, but it wasn't really used. We've started using YouTube quite recently. We've developed an app, and then I suppose other things that we're looking at are Google Plus and LinkedIn. So just take you through our Twitter. We have quite a lot of followers, and it's nice to look at the numbers, but I suppose really I tend to think about the value of those followers, and a lot of them do tend to be recruitment consultants. So I think for me, as time's gone on, I'm more interested in the daily mentions that we get or any interactions that we have with anyone else. And I think the way I've been trying to use Twitter is more, if I tweet, I try to mention as many other people or use a hashtag so that it links me to other people, and I think then that then in turn gets more interactions from other people, and I suppose that's how we've increased our following really. And then obviously I've put there strategic following because I suppose all of you know that all of the Inside Housing, the writers for that, and 24 Housing are all on Twitter, and we've again, because Nick's now on Twitter or has been for about a year, he's been sort of speaking to them directly, and we've managed to get pieces into there and through journalists as well, the freelance journalists, so that's another plus for us using Twitter. And that's I've just took a screenshot of some of our, we work quite closely with Knowsley, so the other day I said happy birthday to them, and people were tweeting us back just within from just one tweet we ended up with 4 other mentions about happy birthday to Knowsley. So then our Facebook is quite, our Twitter's going really well at the moment, so I'm trying to really concentrate on Facebook because I feel that I want to use Facebook more to talk to our customers and for our customers to come and talk to us. And I'm really jealous of Steph and her 3,000 likes because I haven't got that many at all, but it's slowly creeping up. And when I say slowly, I mean very slowly. But I suppose for me the question was, do customers really want to speak to us on Facebook? And I've tried to make things really relevant that put on there, or events that are going on, or anything that I think is of use to customers. But for a long time I have felt like I'm just talking to avoid, as Steph said. I feel like I'm on my own. And I think I did a talk a while ago in London, and people were asking me, have you had anyone come back, and nobody had spoken to me really. Get the odd like on a picture and the odd strange comment on pictures, but other than that I wasn't really hearing from anyone. And then that's just sort of a screenshot of that. So we've only got 171 likes, but I suppose that's from about a year ago. There's probably only 30, so it's slowly, I don't know, it might snowball next week, I don't know. But I think what recently, from about 6 months ago then, I got my first inquiry complaint, I don't know, and I nearly fell off my chair. Someone was speaking to me, and I think I might just go this way because this was the first ever one that I got, and she's saying, how bad are your housing association's allocations team offering someone a property and not giving him any sort of chance in replying? Absolutely disgusting, you should be ashamed. So I was like, I've got to find out what's happened and get back to her. So I instantly just replied to her and said, hi Laura, really sorry you're not happy. Just give me if you want to give me some more information, I can find out what's happened and I'll get back to you tomorrow. because it was in the evening that I checked that. And she didn't come back to me, so I tried to find out what I could from our allocations team, and I got the story, and it was really that obviously, you know, when you're letting a property, you've got to give a certain amount of time, and then if they don't come back to you, then you have to you know, look for someone else, and that's unfortunately what happened. But she, I tried to obviously explain that to her and said, you know, if you want to call me and we can discuss it, call me. And I said, you know, it's Anna, and then she did actually reply and say it wasn't for me, it was for my sister. I was annoyed. You only gave her 3 days to come back to you, but it's all right now because she's got somewhere else. You've given her another property. So to me, I took that as that ended quite positively, really. What could have gone quite wrong? So I said, all right, thanks for getting back to me, Laura. Glad you've got somewhere else now. And you know, but since then, I've had quite a few people, not millions, just about maybe 10 other people come to me and say, oh, what's happening with this, or who's the housing officer for this area, and it seems to be a way for some people to talk to us. And I'll just go back then, that was ITV are filming in some of our properties, and I put that picture up there and just said ITV are on set, like filming on set. And then this conversation here is, I couldn't do the screen grab so I could get it all, but I've just put some pictures up of our new properties. And this lady Vicky was just saying, where is it and how can I get one? And I said, oh, they've all been let, unfortunately. But you know, if you're looking for property to get on the list, and this is what you need to do. And she's just put, I really like it, it's such a shame. When I got one, it had a new kitchen, but it's not as nice as that. I think the adaptations you've done are wonderful, and there's going to be one lucky family moving into that. And it was just so nice, because obviously that's the sort of, that's what we do. And so it was really nice of her to say. And then somebody else has commented, I want one. And people put kisses to me, it's amazing. And then I suppose the other way then that we're using it as well is we've got a regeneration project, and what we were trying to do was we wanted to speak to the community, but we didn't just want to speak to our customers, because although we are the biggest landlord in the area, we're not the only landlord in the area, and we're also, there's obviously owner-occupiers that we wanted to speak to, and with that, a community is made up of various people. So we tried to brand it away from the trust so that we wouldn't scare people off, really. So we called it Beyond the Garden Gate, because what we're trying to say is we've done our decency, and now we want to go out and speak to you about your community, not necessarily your bathroom and your kitchen. And we've basically set up a Facebook page for that, which seems to be, I suppose, it's not been going as long as the trust, and it's got a few more likes, not a lot more, but a few more. But again, people seem to speak to us on that, and they want to know where things are going. We go out and we consult with the area, and we've done an online vote for the, you know, what project you want to see happen in the area, and we put all that on Facebook, and people come back, and it's quite interactional. So I suppose that's quite another way that we're using Facebook. And then another thing, so I suppose YouTube. We did have a video done when it was our 5th anniversary, and that's been on YouTube. And the other, when I logged into it, it had about 50 views. But something we've done recently is we've produced a video on welfare reform that we've done as an infographic, and I asked the designers to upload it to our YouTube, and I put a link to it, and it's obviously Nick and I have tweeted about it, and the sort of whole housing has gone mad for this video. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but everybody now are contacting us asking can they copy it, and the video's got, I think it's about 750 views now within, it's only been up about 2 weeks, and that's, you know, obviously I've put that on our Facebook site as well, so hoping that our customers see it. But I suppose that's another way that it's, and now I've got about 15 inquiries already of people asking can they copy it, and I think probably more will come as well. I'm getting 2 or 3 a day. So yeah, and then we're obviously linking into YouTube from all of our social media, and we're doing a video annual report, so that'll sit on there as well, and again we'll link into YouTube. And then again, we've developed an app. Our IT department have done it themselves, against my advice. And it's only on an Android, and then KHT have come out with theirs, which is so much nicer looking. Although ours, it has the same functionality, it just doesn't look as nice, and I like things to look nice. And it's only on Android at the moment, but we were talking in a meeting the other day about we need to push it onto an iPhone. So it's been around since probably about February, and we have had a few. We've had about 150 downloads of it, and quite a few repairs and ASB come through, and you can pay your rent through it as well. So there are, and I suppose as well, we've also just launched our choice-based lettings, and it's a sub-regional with Merseyside, so we're looking at maybe doing something, so it'll be a bit like a right move, and you can bid for properties on an app as well, so that's something we're looking at doing. And Google Plus and LinkedIn, I mean, we've got, a lot of us have got our own LinkedIn pages, and then you can have a corporate LinkedIn page, which is, I think we're looking at more to use for recruitment, which is, it's not really that new, it's just something that I think we're going to do. And then Google Plus, there's a lot of conversations all the time about Google Plus, whether we should be on it. And I prefer not to stretch ourselves onto something, another thing to update when I'm not that convinced people are using it. But IT keep telling me that because it's Google and Google the search engine, that it'll bring you higher up the rankings, and that's what's likely to happen. So we're just sort of keeping our eye on that, really. And I suppose really a bit like Boris was saying, you know, go and do it. Why not? Because the conversation's happening, and I think there seems to be a big fear on what people are going to say and why, and I don't really understand that, because all of our customer services team speak to our customers on the phone every day, and we don't seem to be frightened about that. But and I think I was at a conference a while ago, and somebody said that the biggest risk is actually just doing nothing. So I've stolen that. And then I suppose, talking about whether it's the future for engagement, someone else asked me, you know, would you take a complaint over Facebook? And I said, I don't see why we wouldn't. Why wouldn't we? We take them over email, over the phone. So why is Facebook different? So yeah, I think more and more it will be that more. Obviously, for all this time it's been me managing Facebook, but I've asked the customer services team now to log into it, because it might be that instead of them being on the phone, they might use some more of their time on monitoring Facebook going forward. And then I suppose Nick Atkin is really keen on Generation X, Y and Z, and I'm still not sure which one I fit into or which one's which, but if I can fit into any. But potentially, obviously, they're our customers of tomorrow, and if this is the way that they communicate, then really we should be sort of taking that on board. And another thing, it's really, what we're trying to say is it's social media, it's not like the be-all and end-all, and we're not trying to say that, you know, people that haven't got computers, we're not going to speak to you, and we're trying to use it as one of many tools. So like that welfare reform video, I know a lot of people are saying, well, how are your customers going to see that? Well, I'm planning to get a card that's got a lot of the graphics that will be posted out to people that are going to be affected by the welfare reforms, but there will be a QR code linked to the video. So if they have got that technology, they can use it, but if not, the graphics, and they're still seeing that sort of online and offline marketing as well. And that's me.